Hey everyone, it's Charlie, and I'm here to help you with track changes on Microsoft Word. You have received back your memos from me, and now you are trying to make sense of what the hell I am doing with these track changes. It is very likely that some of you have used track changes before and are very comfortable with it, but I'm a heavy user of track changes, as most of you will have found out by now, and it can be a little difficult trying to parse out what I'm saying because there's so much, everything's crowded in so much. So I've got this document here. It's in something called lorem ipsum, which is nonsensical language. It's there to make sure that you are looking at the meta information and not reading this document that's in front of you. This is a memo from to Caesar from Brutus regarding knife safety. And the date is the Ides of March. And let's see, where shall we begin? There's so much to begin with. The first thing that happens is you open this document and you see all of this stuff, all these comments that I've made. You might think I've gone a bit crazy, and we'll leave that for another class. But what are you going to do with this? Well, first thing is let's get the colors straight. Blue means a comment. Blue is a comment that I'm talking to you saying, how about this? Did you think of that? Why don't you talk about X? Why did you cover B when it's not related to the subject at hand, etc., etc., etc. So blue is my comments to you. Red on the side here, this is the blue, red on the side is my deletions. And green here are my additions. Now we are looking right now in page view. I used to really like, not page view, what I used to like was draft view. So let's just quickly take a look at draft view, and we'll get this a little bigger. And what draft view does is the same thing, but instead of the deletions here in red that I've taken out, being on the side, they're in the document. In a way, it's a little easier to see. The problem here is that my comments are harder to see. You have to, you have to roll over here, and sometimes you can see the comments, and here, I don't even know how to do this. There is a way. Okay, let's start again. Let's go back here to page view, because this is what I use most of the time. I'll go back and finish that thought. The first thing you want to do is you're at home. Go over here to review, this review tab. Click on that. And that's where you should be as you're going through here. And put your cursor will end up here at the start anyways, right in front of 2. And you want to go through this in a way that makes sense. You could just start here and go to next. Look what I've done. I've made Caesar, Brutus, knife safety, and Ides of March line up rather than being indented. What did it look like originally? Well, you can go up here to original. That's what it looked like originally. But you're going to receive it with final showing markup. You can also look at it as final. You don't want to look at it that way, but you can. You want to see original showing a markup. Don't want to look at it that way either. You want to go back, sometimes it helps to go back to look at your original, but for the most part you want to be looking at the final showing my markups. And so here, what are you going to do here? So now you were at 2, you went to next, and you can either reject this here, or you can accept it. So let's accept, and it disappeared. And do you notice that it jumped to the next? Accept. And these two were already there, so we didn't have to worry. Now it jumped to the next, which is here. But wait a minute, this has got so much stuff going on, I can't even see everything that was deleted. And down here you can see there's some comments where you can't see the end of the comments. So what are you going to do here? Well, I found a way to really make this easy. It's very straightforward, it's cheating. What you want to do is put your cursor in the next paragraph. So you see I put my cursor right here. I want it to insert, and I hit page break. Now this takes us down here, page 2. Here now we have just one paragraph, but everything is much more visible now. So the first thing I do is we'll go here, and we'll go to next, and we got to this deletion. Tincident. Tincident, I didn't like that word. And you can say to yourself, Charlie didn't like tincident, but he really didn't understand what tincident means. Tincident was critical to what I was saying, so I think I'm going to keep it. If you want to keep it, you hit the X, because you're going to block out what I did. If you say, oh, Charlie's absolutely right, I really didn't mean to say tincident, you would hit check and tincident disappears. But I'll go back to edit, undo, change, accept. Tincident appears again. I'm going to keep tincident because I really think that's critical to my argument. So there's tincident. Now, notice that it did not go to the next one, so we will go to the next one using the next button. And here's another deletion of this one. Yeah, Charlie's absolutely right. You did not belong here, so we're going to check. Okay, then we'll go to the next. And here we go. Here, I really thought it was important to say, Enian tellus leo pasuere et pelensque eget tristique et magna. I thought that was really important if you didn't say something like that. I mean, really, that's a really good way of wording that thought. And I'm sure you're all following that clearly. So this is what I added. Now, when you're going through this and you're looking at my changes, this is not religion. I am putting this in here because I think this is a really, really good way of saying it. You may have a very different way of saying it, or a slightly different way of saying it. You do not. You are a writer. You are not a student following the professor's demands. You are a writer, and you are following an editor's suggestions. And you can change things if you want. So if you like this, you like the idea, you say, oh yeah, Charlie was right. That was a good thing to add, but I don't exactly like how he said it. What you do is you go to next, so it's highlighted, and you will say up here. You notice, unlike in the boxes here on the right-hand side, there's nothing you can check or uncheck. So you got to go up here to accept, and voila, now that's accepted. But you want to put in here, you want to put in a different word. Let's put in ice cream and more. Your edition comes up with track changes. You can either turn track changes off. Let's undo that. I just undid it. And let's turn track changes off and put in ice cream is excellent. And there it is. Now you want to go back to, well, you don't really have to put on track changes on or off. It's not too important. We'll leave it off for now. All right, next comment. I've got a deletion. Let's check that one. Next comment. Where are we? We're right here. This was, what's going on here? Let's put, whenever I get confused, I just go back up here, anywhere up here, and go to next again. And it highlights. It's a comment. It's a comment. Oh, you know what? I did something. So I just erased something really important. I'm glad I caught that. Let's just do a lot of undos. Okay, here is aliquam. I've deleted aliquam from right over here. And you can see that I've deleted it because it's in the red box. But note that it's highlighted. Unlike the other red stuff you saw, like erat volutam, aliquam has a little highlight. Where is this coming from? Why is this highlighted? Why does it have this blue highlight? This blue highlight means that I'm telling you in the box above, my comment above, why I deleted aliquam. And the reason I deleted aliquam was because, I'm thinking about aliquam and I'm thinking this is ridiculous. Why in the world did Brutus include aliquam in his argument? I'm not only going to delete it, I'm going to tell Brutus that this makes no sense whatsoever. Unfortunately, it would be much better if this box would appear below this comment. It doesn't. Sometimes, very rarely it will. And I don't know why. I can't figure out why it will or will not, but most of the time, this ends up right up here. And you just have to remember that this comment, this blue line going over here, is going to aliquam, which has been deleted. Little confusing, but important, because I won't always, sometimes I'll delete, or often, most often, I will delete the stuff I delete in your memos. I just delete. I don't tell you why I'm deleting them. I'm deleting them because I'm suggesting a better way, what I think is a better way of writing it. But here I thought it worth telling you. Okay, this makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, well, we'll take out Charlie's comment. And we'll look here at aliquam and we'll say, okay, yeah, maybe he was right, so we'll accept that deletion. So then at the end of this paragraph, I've got another comment. This is quite pithy, but I fail to see how it follows from your opening statement. Moreover, nulla facilici is not something anyone can really argue against, particularly since it's in Latin and written in lorem ipsum, which is particularly designed to be obfuscatory. Anyways, that's a long note, and you'll see that I often do long notes. And if you got rid of this page break right here, that long note can turn into something that you can't read because it has these little dots here. You'll get it because it gets too crowded. Okay. So now we're back to our page. Let's see. What am I wanted to show you review. Okay, here's the review pane. This is what I wanted to show you. There's a review pane. Comes over here. This has all of the same. Excuse me. This has all the same information here, but it's on the side. If you go back, I told you we most look at this print layout view. If you prefer, you can go to the draft view. And I used to use the draft view all the time. I decided it got a little too cumbersome because it was hard with this review panel. It can be a little harder to figure out what this one is corresponding to over here. In the print layout view, you've got these nice lines. And yeah, it can get confusing. Let's go down to the second paragraph and let's put in insert page break. And now we can see we don't have any of those ellipses down there, so everything is here. And we go here to Ides of March, and we go to next, and we get this one, and we can go to next. And here's the blue indicates, and you see that when we're using next, previous, next, nulla facilici got highlighted with a solid blue line, not a dotted blue line to there. And you can see you can go next, and every time you go to next, you get the dotted line, unless it's an addition, which is in green, which is integrated, goes here. Now, you can go back to draft view and have the same thing. Go here to the ends of Ides of March, where we know we have no more track changes. Hit next. Tincident. You see, unfortunately, tincident is highlighted here, but it's not highlighted here. It's clearly inserted tincident. Tincident, same thing here. But say you wanted to just go here, how are you going to find this? It can be a little harder. There's no, in the draft layout view, well, actually, look here. Nulla facili is highlighted and went to next, went to nulla facilici. And the cursor in the review pane came here. Let's go to see what happens next. Same thing. Okay, so that's pretty good. So some of you might find it easier to do this, to use the review pane. I used to think it was easier. I switched to the print layout view for two reasons. One was most of my students really preferred it, and number two was ultimately I found it easier. Even an old dog like me can, over time, learn new tricks. Okay, what else do I want to show you? I think I've covered everything. So yeah, a little bit on strategy. So you receive this and you go, oh my God, what the hell is he doing here? What I would suggest is, remember to use the page breaks, but go through and get rid of the easy ones first. My comments usually require you to do some thinking and some rewriting. The other ones, the green additions and the red deletions, those are usually much more straightforward. A very important point, and I probably should have started with this. When I do a green addition and a red deletion, it means I strongly believe this is a much better way of stating something that you've already stated. When sometimes in the blue box, let's see if I've done it. Yeah, here. So take a look at this one. I say, or here is a comment, here is this word aliquet. Well, I say, or maybe you meant, maybe aliquant would be a better word, or aliquel, or maybe aliquentesque. These are ideas, these are suggestions as to ways you might phrase it better. What I'm saying by putting it in a comment box rather than the draft is that I'm not really as sure about this as I am when I make an edit. In both cases, whether I'm doing it as an addition or a deletion, or whether I'm doing it as a blue boxed suggestion, you are the writer. You are dealing with me as an editor, and you can say, I agree, I disagree. Usually you want to say to yourself, okay, this guy's been an editor for a while. He knows what he's talking about. Let's think about if he's changed my meaning. He has changed my meaning, but maybe it's closer to the meaning I originally meant. Or if not, I have to rewrite this and in a way, in my own words. I don't have to take what Charlie, the editor, said as gospel, and this is what he is demanding. What I want you to do is to think about why I suggested a rewrite, whether in a strong manner by using additions and deletions, or in a more suggestive manner by boxes. You are the writer. You take what I say and you adjust it to whatever works better for you. That's the job of a writer. Anything else? Anything else here? I think that's about it. Boy, I hope this video QuickTime thing worked, because if I went through all this and it doesn't work, I'm going to use my hammer on this machine. Okay, that's it for now. I'm just blabbing on because I'm trying to remember if I've forgotten anything. I think that's it. All right. Now I have to figure out how to turn it off.